You guys want some shadow work? Everything is temporary. And the more that you try to make temporary things permanent, the more you hurt yourself. Let's get into it. And if you have a problem with this concept, I don't want you to focus on the fact that everything is temporary. I want you to focus on your self-worth. Because you wouldn't have a problem believing that everything is temporary if you had an expectation in your life that everything that leaves your life will be replaced with something better. But if you don't believe that, that's because you don't believe you're worth that. So I would reflect there. The only thing that will be with you from birth until death, the only permanent thing that you hold on this planet is you inside that human body. That's the only permanent thing in your life. Your parents will die one day. You haven't met your partner yet. Your kids, they're going to grow up and move out, bro. The only thing that's permanent is you. And when you think about it like this, when you think about the fact that you are the only consistency in your entire life from beginning to end, it really makes you start to question how much energy and time you're putting into the one permanent thing in your life. We form avoidance blocks in our brains when we're content or happy with a situation or a person. But what we have to realize is the concept that we sit there and we try to do everything we can to make things and people permanent in our lives is all in vain. And if we would simply take the time to reflect on the fact that if something happened here, would I be okay as a person? And if the answer to that is no, you need to do personal work. If your happiness, if your contentment is completely solely based and is pivotal on a person, a house, a job, do some personal work, dude. I'm telling you, because that's a good way to get crushed one day when one of those things just up and leaves your goddamn life. And I'm not saying it's an easy concept to think about, but I'm saying it's a worthy one. Okay, if everything that you love and makes you content in your life was gone tomorrow, would you be okay as a person? Could you hold you up? Would you have your back? If you had no one else, nothing else, could you be okay with just you? And if the answer to that is no, you have a lot of space for personal growth. I'm telling you. Ask yourself why you feel like you need that person, place, or thing to stay. And ask yourself if you really need it. And if you really, really, really think you need it, ask yourself what would happen if it just disappeared anyway. Fuck your needs. You know what I'm saying? What would you do then? Would you handle it? You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself these questions. And if you're asking Mariah, why are you making me think about this? Because someday something's going to go wrong. And I'm going to be the first to tell you that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. What goes up must come down. And one day, all of those things won't be there. So dealing with these things in advance, asking ourselves what would happen, what would do, it makes that crash and burn moment where those things leave our lives a lot less difficult to deal with. Every single time in my entire life that I have become content with a place, a house, a stability pattern, a relationship, it has been pulled from me. And the universe is find better, do better, get better. Move on. And now for some people, it's not that fast. For me, as soon as I get content, as soon as there's no more to strive for in those areas, I'm yanked the fuck out. And it's move on. For some people are allowed to stay in stagnant places for years until they understand the lesson, right? Not everyone's life is ripped apart like mine is, and I understand that. But I'm telling you right now, whether it's now or in a year, if there's stagnant energy that has no more goal in your life, it will be taken from you. And doing this will help you in so many areas in your life. I am telling you right now, it will help you in so many places. We all know those people, right? Those friends. And it's so sad to watch. But they're in a relationship where the connection, the love's not there anymore. And they can feel the chemistry has died. The relationship is dead. But they're still in it. And they don't want to leave because they hold on to this hope that the spark will realign or light back up. And it's so hard to watch a person go through that, yeah? But I'm telling you, if that person had done this work, that person would be a lot more willing to let go of a dead relationship, knowing that a new, better one, more in alignment for them, was heading their way. Do you get what I'm saying? This concept will take you far. Way more willing to leave that job that treats you like shit. And you'll also understand that you deserve that pay or the benefits or whatever the fuck it's offering you, and also not to get treated like shit, When you accept this, you realize that life is far more fleeting, so you spend far more time in the present moment. But also beyond that, any time that difficulty, hard times come up, there's no permanence to it. It doesn't feel like it's gonna last forever anymore. Why? Because everything is temporary. Just this bad moment, temporary. This bad situation, temporary. This bad job, relation, it's all temporary. It literally offers you so much mental, personal freedom, I'm telling you. And we have a really bad habit in this life of like holding on to the happiness and like the joy and the bliss, but that's not how we're meant to exist. We're not meant to exist in these high, super great spaces all the time. Life is it's a vibrational back and forth, right? We're bouncing back and forth between the two, and the more you can learn to live and flow with that, the less the change from high to low hurts you as a person. It's just so funny when you think about it like that, because humans have such a tendency to literally be at like the bottom, like lower vibrations and like lower understandings and lessons in life, and just sit there and be like, it's all temporary. And they like tell themselves that, right? But then they bounce up to like the higher emotions and they avoid the fact that this is temporary. Just a funny human thing. And I'm not trying to be a bitch, bro. I'm just trying to be real with you. You are hurting yourself. You are hurting yourself sitting around and pretending like that thing is going to stay in your life forever. Girl, stop. And become comfortable with the fact that everything changes. Because you're supposed to change. Everything should change with you. Do you get what I'm saying? Also, can you tell that I as a person am changing? And because I'm changing, things are being removed from my life that I thought would be permanent, that I had avoided were going to be permanent in my life. Can you tell that I'm giving myself advice right now? I hope you can.